Hello, Penumbuddies.
Woo, we're back! This time for the robot episode that
What
we
the
don't know the
fuck
name
is the
of.
name of this thing?
Fantastical robots from
Juno
space.
Steel and the Mega-Ultrabots of Cyber Justice.
Except I'll put an overlay over my voice. The mega. Wait, I don't even remember what it was
Wait, no, I
called.
can do it.
Thank you.
Juno Steel and the Mega-Ultrabots of Cyber Justice.
That was beautiful. I will make sure to make that reverb. Oh my god, what an episode. I was so sure it was going to be Buddy.
Me too. Oh my god. This episode did 0% of what I thought it was going to do. I
Same,
am
bro.
Rab, you're gonna have to take away my Luna is right button.
No,
I
no,
was
I
so
can't.
wrong. I was
No,
so wrong.
that does not revoke the button. That just means that we didn't press the button.
But
You're.
okay. Recap, people. This is what I thought. I thought they were gonna wake up in Dark Matter's custody, and then Vespa with Ruby was gonna come in and get and like save them. Because I thought that was a fair assumption, considering. And yet, that is not what occurred.
I was so sure that they were going to end up on Dark Matter's ship, on a Dark Matter ship, that I spent at least the first 7 minutes, if not 10, just convinced that it was a dream. And then I was like, or a story that Rita was making up. And then I was like, no, Rita wouldn't have Juno be talking like this, or Peter. that would not be the way they would speak in her fantasy world.
True. Rita's fantasy world would be a sight to behold.
Yeah. It would. Everybody would be.
Very
I think an
nice.
extreme. Yeah, very nice, but also an extreme version of them.
So. Yeah.
Oh god. But what to even talk about? Yeah, it would.
I made a list. I always make a list.
Yay! I love your list.
First thing is that this episode did 0% of what we thought it was going to do. Like I made a post on Tumblr last night that was like, theories for the next episode, and I was like, it's gonna be Buddy or it's gonna be Sasha. No. No. It was Rita. And it was okay, wait, here's the first question. Is this a beach episode or a Big Robots episode?
That's what I was wondering. I think they gave us some delicious food because in the days leading up to this episode, we could assume that beach shenanigans happened, except, Nerev couldn't really move, but...
Oh my god, yeah, beach shenanigans are, yes. So beach shenanigans are good, but I will be the first one to admit that I have no knowledge of anything giant robot related, aside from, like, loving Power Rangers when I was, like, 6. And also seeing Pacific Rim.
Fuck yeah.
Do you have any more knowledge of the giant robot trope?
Slow zoom on my face as I stare off into the middle distance. I mean, only
is Voltron giant robots?
Yeah. It's like, I know, it's 5 robot lions that come together to make a giant robot.
That's, I think that qualifies. You are officially more in tune with the giant robot tropes than I am.
Yeah, but I'm not as, like, anime, I haven't watched since for a while, so I only know as far as the cartoon sort of, like, the kind of thing that, like, American cartoons will parody. So, like, the Steven Universe episode where I know enough to be like, oh, they're parodying mecha shows with this robot
Is that
fight.
What it's called? Mecha?
Yeah, but I can't say exactly what the original thing that they are parodying is, so I'm kind of out of my depth here too, but several times listening to this, my brain was tickled, like, that's a reference to something or some trope that I don't know about.
Yeah, listeners, feel free to enlighten us because they've managed to hit on something that we don't really know about, which happens and is fine, but, we don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so if you were like, oh yeah, this is
I know everything about this. Please enlighten us. I
Yeah,
would
so
love to
that's
be
the
enlightened in
commons.
these trying times.
Oh god,
Um,
man.
yeah. So there's the idea of genre, which I think is really interesting when compared to the last episode, because the last episode was just very tied in with this very specific source material. It was a bottle episode. It was everyone's on the ship, someone's picking them off one by one. That happened in Firefly. I mean, Sophie and Kevin said really specifically that it was based on that one Twilight Zone episode. Um, with the man on the wing and Shatner, and yeah, it's a great episode. You should watch it if you can. Um, and this one is much more fun and lighthearted, but I think in a lot of ways really bleak.
Yeah.
Like, and I think genre is doing the most to figure out that difference between the last episode with Vespa and this episode with Rita. Also, Vespa and Rita back to back is such a trip, you know?
Yeah, such a tonal shift. I was like coming into this episode, just getting inside Rita's head, and coupled with the fact that everybody was not only alive but essentially unharmed. like,
Yeah.
I mean, even Nerev's leg apparently was just kind of as it was. There's like, I was kind of like, my initial reaction was,
Vicious.
yeah. I was like, oh, they land. Okay, so they crash landed into an ocean, and they weren't okay. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's a space fantasy, but it just kind of, it was such a whiplash for me where I guess the cliffhanger didn't help because I spent weeks sort of
Mm-hmm.
catastrophizing. Yeah, and so having them be like, "Oh, everybody's okay," I'm like, "Everybody's okay."
Yeah, that was so shocking to me.
Yeah.
It was a real whiplash, and like I'm really glad, and it made me really happy. I was kind of like, oh God, you know, my stomach hurts. Like, can I even listen to this right now? Because
Yeah.
I was expecting like full on Dark Matters torture, but no, we got a beach episode that turned into a giant robots episode, which was good. Like I'm very like I love Rita. I knew they were gonna fake out the last name. We will never be blessed with this knowledge. We don't deserve it, frankly.
No. What has humanity done to earn Rita's last name?
Oh, I made this joke on Discord earlier, and I thought that you, the listeners, would appreciate it. How apt is it that they're doing a Zoom heist right now?
I remember. It's so
How
good.
socially distant of them.
Oh my god, it's so appropriate. Fuck,
Hmm.
I love that so much.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh,
Oh
they're such nerds.
god, they are.
Such
So like
nerds.
I was thrown off, but at the end of the day I kept asking myself, okay, is it as a writing decision, did it like have any negative consequences? And I don't think so.
Yeah.
It was just my expectations that were like butthurt. It was like, it was not a situation. I mean, we did, maybe the stakes are a little bit confused for me right now because having all the characters not be even kind of, I don't know, but the ship did get destroyed, so there was a consequence to the action. It
Yeah,
wasn't
they're
like,
stranded.
yeah, it wasn't a reset. They are literally stranded. So it's, there's no problem there. I was just shocked and like, whoa. That's
Yeah, they're
okay.
well, I think they knew what we were going to assume. And I still think we can assume that Dark Matters sent the bot.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's a difficult reach by any
No.
means. I'm I'm still just pressing that Dark Matters button over and over.
It
Dark
is.
Matters.
Them,
Sasha's
damn
showing
it.
back up. Keep the faith.
It's gonna happen.
It
But
will
yeah,
happen.
also Penumbra, this is what they do is they subvert
That's
expectations, and not,
true.
yeah, and not in the gotcha kind of way, but in a way that's thoughtful and interesting, and maybe at first glance, for me at least, a little bit like disorienting. That's just
That's a good word for it. It was a little disorienting, but like there's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that. It can be a
Yeah,
little disorienting.
exactly. Yeah.
Um, can we talk about the Ruby 7?
Please, what's your theory on the Ruby?
Ruby. Ruby rescued them. I think that's pretty clear through foreshadow. Like, it's implied. It's heavily implied, I think. So yeah, I think Ruby rescued them and brought them to shore. I think Ruby is the seventh member of the crew.
Is Ruby
Like,
a fucking transformer? Damien with one brain cell or whatever, Taylor, using the username, was like they're a transformer.
I didn't see that, but oh God. Wow. Wow. I'm offended. I'm not offended. Um, I think Jet would be offended.
I'm sorry, Jet. But like, okay, I love that idea. I wonder if Ruby was chained down, then how I don't
Yeah.
know, that's pretty funny.
Ruby and Jet was talking about all the weirdness with Ruby's, like, does Ruby use fuel? Unclear. Does Ruby, like, stuff is happening there, stuff we are not aware of, that I think is gonna, and Matenderes was studying Ruby. Like, I don't know. I think Ruby is gonna be a lot more sentient than we thought, and a lot more of a plot device than like a fun object.
Yeah, like
So
someone in the Discord, I'm gonna have to remember who and put their name in the description, but they thought that maybe the book was related to Ruby
hmm
in that AI sense. So that would be fun.
yeah, yeah, that's also interesting. I don't know that it was quite foreshadowed enough for me to think that it's gonna happen, like that direct correlation, but it might later.
Yeah. We don't know.
Um,
We just don't know.
yeah, we don't know. This is a very plot heavy episode, so I think there's less emotional stuff to unpack, but I think things like the Ruby, like I think we're getting a lot of good clues for later.
Amen. And like question, the fact that Rita made one of her robots whistle like the Ruby, was that just her being
Ooh,
cute, or was that, I don't know, was that just them messing with us? I don't know, but
I have no idea.
I have a lot of questions. Oh
Although,
god.
like, I just said that thing about how it's not hugely like emotion driven, but I think it is really character driven. So, do you want to talk about the things we learn about Rita this episode?
I would love to.
Okay. Um, so not her last name. That's item number one.
That's a given. Yeah.
Yeah, no, what have we done? What have we done to deserve Rita's last name? Um, yeah, so I don't. Okay, so I love that Rita refuses to pronounce carte blanche at any point. She will call it anything but its name, and I think that's a whole ass mood because I also hate pronouncing French words. My girlfriend's a French teacher. I'm allowed to say it. Uh, so what else? When we get the script, y'all, there'll be one of my screenshot posts about it. We'll see. Um, yeah. So I kind of want to talk about like what we talked about a couple episodes or in our Day That Wouldn't Die episode about Mick and storytelling. How does Rita fit into that storytelling role? Because her life is just very obviously like organized around stories. Like she likes to consume stories. So where does that storyteller role fit in? Like what impact do those stories have on how she lives her life?
Oh god, I need another button that says fuck, I hadn't thought of that, but I'm hitting that button now and that's, oh, that is wild. Wow. Geez, Juno, you kind of attract people, I guess, who are addicted to stories.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh.
I think because several times in this episode Rita does something that is either objectively wrong or objectively unhelpful because it would create a better story.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
mean,
that says a lot.
in a meta sense, that's really cool to have a character be basically acting as the author and trying to make things more interesting for the imaginary audience.
Ooh, I hadn't thought about it in like a meta way.
Oh, but it's so cool as a God. I hadn't thought about it in a character way, and that is so interesting that Rita is organizing her life into roles because we talked a lot about the way that Juno does that, and it's like
Yeah.
at least, and Rita is also casting herself as a hero, but I think this episode I got this sense that Rita is feeling a little, I don't know, unappreciated. Like maybe you didn't get this, but and I don't know, maybe I'm making this up, but I got this sense that she really wanted everybody to think like that she was really capable and cool and like a superstar. And so I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, I think so. Like, I think that Rita has a I think Rita and Juno's dynamic is really, distinct and easy for Rita to track. Like, I think that makes a lot of sense to her. So I think introducing a lot of new people into the mix would be really hard for Rita. I think we got a little bit of that she doesn't quite get where everyone's coming from or and can't read the cues. Jet doesn't want to help, and she's like, well, I can go ask him again, and the next time he'll be able to. But she's
Yeah.
doing things for the crew like she would do them for Juno.
Oh, that's cool. Oh,
And she
I'm so
totally
sad.
wouldn't tell Juno she like disassembled and reassembled a robot and sent it away. She would just kind of swoop in at the last minute and be like, hey, I saved your ass. And Juno would be like, ah, ah.
Yeah, like he did with the office, where she just bought him a fucking office in Hyperion and was like, "Here you
Yeah.
go. I didn't tell you I was doing this, but now I did the thing, and you can be happy about me." Oh,
And that works for
Rita.
Juno needs a kick in the ass.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't think that's gonna work for Buddy at all. I think
No.
because Buddy is a planner. Buddy doesn't want people doing things for her. She wants people doing things with her.
Oh, that's a beautiful way of putting it. Yeah, communication is so key in her family.
Yeah. So I think Buddy's gonna be really rightly pissed.
Yeah.
But I
I
think it's interesting to see Rita like going through these patterns that she's done for at least the past 15 years. And I think she's gonna be really shocked when they don't turn out the way she wants them to.
I agree. I'm like reviewing my mental records of what I remember of the series, and I can't remember her really fucking anything up. Like I can remember her like forgetting something or telling Juno to go down the wrong hallway or look in the wrong drawer or something like that. Maybe but she's never locked him like into a potentially traumatic situation where once again he is like intertwined with a robot and stuck him and like Nureyev and her like putting them all in extreme danger where they could die. Like that's a whole new level of yeah. Uh,
Yeah. You're right. She's never really truly fucked up. And that's good because, like, Juno really needed that. Like, remember she broke a really important statue in one of the Rita minutes?
oh, you know what? Here's my secret. I skipped one of the Rita minutes. So that's probably the Rita minute that I skipped.
Why did you skip a Rita minute? They're all so great.
I have this weird thing with certain episodes where I attach like a lot of anxiety to them for no reason. Like
Mm,
I'll skip it because I'm wanting to get onto the plot, and then I will like be like I'll go back to it, and the longer I don't go back to it, the more it becomes this weird nebulous anxious thing, even though
fair, man.
it's weird. I don't get it. It's the same thing with there's an episode where Nureyev pretends to be, I don't know, it's after the
Oh, the Perseus Shaw one?
yes, I have never listened to that.
Kind
So
of fair. I don't love that episode. It's fun, but it's just kind of there.
yeah, well, when we get to it, it'll be my first time
Uh,
listening. So that's
Perseus
kind
Shaw
of
stands are gonna come for us.
well, come for me. It's not Luna's fault. But
No, I disk Perseus. They might come for me.
oh, okay, that's we're both we're both on the
We're
run now.
toast. Yep.
But okay, so Rita broke a A vase?
an important statue thing and was like, "Oh my God, like I have to glue this back together right now." And at the time I was like very anxious about it. And at the time I was like, "Oh no, like does she think Juno's going to yell at her? Like why does she want this fixed so bad?" And it turned out that like it had to be broken to solve the case. Uh
Oh, like the
but
Napoleon statues or whatever.
I don't know, man. If I'm like getting this read a minute totally wrong, like someone call me out. I don't re-listen to them like I do episodes.
It's
Uh,
okay.
yeah, so I think it's interesting the idea that Rita sees herself as a constant for Juno,
Oh.
and she's like, if he were down, she would, do something big and flashy to help him feel better. And that's what she's trying to do here, like be the most helpful and constant she can be, but in a way that's gonna really fuck things up.
Yeah, and she is trying desperately to be the hero. And it's like, what better way to teach her that it's okay to not be that constancy and not be, or however you would phrase it,
Yeah.
or not to be the hero who saves everybody all the time, and to fail, and to have maybe Nureyev and Juno be mad at her and then realize, oh wait, like we
Yeah.
can't, yeah, this is a person and she needs our help and our support.
Yeah, man. I think Rita tries to solve other people's problems. And I feel like you can get a lot of satisfaction out of that and a lot of feeling needed out of solving other people's problems. But I think it says a lot that Rita was just like, my first instinct is to go and try to fix this whole thing on by myself so everyone will feel better.
Oh, that is so sad. She's piling on. Oh, at least she was willing to recruit two other people, but like
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
she wanted to keep it secret. Like, not only, I agree that there's layers to it where there's like the surface excuse is, oh, I want to, surprise Buddy, make her happy, be the hero, and then underneath it, it's this need to, you know, yeah, to feel, oh God, ow, my
To feel
heart.
necessary.
Oh, that's so sad. Rita, I love you.
Yeah, and being friends with Juno means you're always necessary and you always
Oh,
feel needed. So hanging around with a bunch of really capable people like that helps.
yeah,
And
that
there's
must be
less
really,
to do with Juno these days. It's probably more fun,
yeah,
but there's less fixing to do. I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah.
Like I've
I bet.
definitely been a chronic fixer in my life. Like pay attention to the people you call the mom friends. They're
Yeah,
often deflecting.
yeah. I can't, like, whenever I hear mom friend, because I have the same issue with being the caretaker,
Yeah.
where I feel the safest when I am in a place where I am giving, and the most uncomfortable when I am receiving.
Hmm.
So I am constantly trying to keep this comfort level up by making other people happy. And it's like, so, like, yeah, definitely, if you have a mom friend, just, they might be a little not great. Just like,
Just ask how they're doing and then like
yeah,
listen to them. Like
yeah,
it doesn't have to be a lot, especially if it makes your mom friend uncomfortable. I feel like this is
yeah.
like cat care instructions. Be sure to feed your mom friend twice a day.
No,
Give
it's
them
great
lots of love
though.
and affection.
Yeah, that's great. Maybe we'll learn that in the next episode where we'll see everybody react to Rita. That'll be really
Yeah.
sweet.
And we'll come back to it with Buddy, because Buddy is literally the mom friend
Yeah, the
and also
therapist
kind of a
galore.
therapist, which
Yeah.
is scary. Like, okay, well, we can talk about Buddy when we get to Buddy, which is going to be a time. I'm very excited.
Oh, that's gonna be rad. Oh man.
Wait, one more thing about Rita and stories.
Yeah.
I think that I think I've wondered in the past, like, why has Rita, who is one of like the world's most talented hacker, why is she Juno's secretary? Like, why, you know, he's a middling to unsuccessful PI. I'm sure he's very successful, but like, you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
he was not going many places. And she's incredibly talented. So why is she a secretary? So like I think that we see by like looking at how Rita constructs her life around making it like a story, I think that similarity with Juno like comes into sharp relief. That
Yeah,
they're both story people.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, and maybe too, maybe she doesn't really see how amazing she is. Like she does that thing with Jet where he's like, "Do you know this car part?" That's my Jet impersonation. And she's like, "No." And then he starts to explain and she's like, "Just that." And gives an extremely detailed reaction or explanation.
Yeah.
So it's almost like she doesn't realize that she's such a, I don't know, a valuable asset. Maybe she didn't realize that she was as good as she is because she's,
Yeah.
I don't know, people seem to be a little bit confused as to how to work with her.
Except
Like,
for Juno, man.
except for Juno. So maybe there was an element to that too, where people
Yeah.
didn't see how valuable she was past her weirdness, and Juno was willing and able to do that a little bit when he wasn't being mean.
She also, I think, has a very clearly defined comfort zone. I don't
Yeah.
know, like re-listening to season 1, I think we get a lot of like, I have to drive across town and get you. No, like I want to stay in the office. I want to, take the time I need to do the things I need to do, and I'll do it faster, but I'm going to complain about it. She's a character with comfort zone,
Yeah.
and she's very
Yeah.
distinctly out of it right now.
Yeah, God, everything is crumbling around her. It is not like the streams. Oh
Hmm.
Lord.
It's pretty
Or maybe
like
it
the
is.
streams. It's more like the streams than I would expect, I guess.
That is true. Things do go wrong. I mean, it's like the low point of the third act. Everything has gone wrong. Now they gotta
Oh, I don't think we're at the low point yet.
Oh man, yeah, more stuff has to go bad.
Yeah. I
That's
wish I
fair.
knew how many episodes we had overall.
Yeah. Oh, not of the arc. I mean of the Rita, the two Rita episodes. But even then, I think
Oh, yeah.
we are. I mean, we're halfway. We only got the first half out, so I guess
Are we halfway?
maybe
Of
I think
6?
so. Or no,
Oh.
halfway through the Rita episodes because there are going to be two.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yes,
but
that's true.
low point of the season, I'm terrified.
Yeah, I'm very scared. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
okay.
really quick, I gotta say, maybe there are other listeners out there who feel the same way, but it was so relatable hearing Rita be so into her streams and using her streams to navigate life and make sense of her life. Like that's as someone on the spectrum, something that I do a lot. So it's just like it was really cool. I know a lot of people with ADD or also relate to Rita. So
Hmm.
Rita, non-neuro, like a neurodivergent icon. Love it.
Love her. Yeah, I think this episode kind of I think she's definitely being neurodivergent coded at the very least at
Yeah.
this point. But I will leave that to, that discussion to people who are on the spectrum. Um, so uh
Peter plays the violin.
Peter, he played something.
Is that gonna come back?
Like, I'm just really thinking about Ransom, like, sitting there with a guitar playing Wonderwall.
There were so many memes like in the interlude before Man in Glass came out about about poor Peter just lying on his bed listening to whatever track over and over again. So
Yeah.
maybe there was some truth to that, except he's playing it.
Someone was going on about, like, sad kazoo in the middle of the night. Mhm.
Pausing
That's my kazoo
periodically to
impression,
sob.
babes.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry,
But
Peter.
we do have confirmation that Juno and Peter are kissing at least.
Oh my
Okay?
god.
They're
Oh my
gay.
god. When Peter said Juno, dear. I think I haven't been able to stop thinking about that all day.
Yeah,
We heard
yeah. We heard
it's
it. It was there.
oh my god.
They they're in love.
Wow.
They're working on communicating.
Wow.
It's going great. I'm proud of them. You know, this seems like a good point to talk about the distribution of brain cells and how we we put
Who
together a
has the
team
most?
with none.
Oi, there's one brain cell, and it is in the Ruby 7.
No, I mean like the robot heist.
Yeah.
No
Oh,
wisdom.
yeah.
Zero wisdom. All three. So smart. No wisdom.
Oh my god. This was the team up of my dreams. Like the
Right?
thought of Juno, Peter, and Rita all working together. Just the serotonin, like the Hoover Dam just burst.
Oh my god. Like there's just not an ounce of good decision making skills anywhere in there.
So fucking funny. Oh
Just
my god.
nothing. And I think Rita actually says it like we're not wise, we're smart. Right? This plan isn't wise, it's smart. Uh,
Oh my god, they're gonna find them in that cave. Oh no.
yeah.
Oh god.
Also, wait. So the computers are in a cave. Peter can't walk. Juno carried Peter to the
Oh,
cave.
oh.
There was a
He
piggyback ride involved.
oh my god. Yes.
You're all welcome.
Everybody join. Everybody join the squad. Juno can carry Nureyev. Hashtag Juno can carry.
He's a noodle boy. He's a noodle boy.
Yeah.
And
He's a
Juno is
tall.
very strong.
Yeah. So
Short, but he's strong.
yes, which strong.
Yeah. Oh, you want to talk about the Thea and the Thea resonances and how
Yeah.
Juno's probably in for a not great time?
I'm worried about that, like from a narrative standpoint, because I think they've set themselves into this weird situation where I don't know if they can address it without. I feel almost like they're avoiding talking about it right now because they know if they did, then it might have serious ramifications for Juno's mental state because it's like acknowledging that he has a lot of trauma associated with this very thing that he is doing right now.
Yeah. And we
So,
saw him being reluctant.
yeah. And it was weird that Rita was just like, "Oh, stop being a baby." Like, and it seemed like her reluctance was coming more from a place of Juno isn't good with computers, which is fair.
Yeah.
Then, like,
Yeah, that
Juno
was
has
funny.
had a very bad experience with robots in the
Plural.
past.
Plural.
Yeah.
Where like Juno ain't getting an Apple Watch. Like no
It's
AirPods for
over.
him. Like no thanks.
Yeah, they can
Nothing
do it.
wearable.
So I hope that they at least touch on that maybe next
I think they'll
episode.
have to. I really do.
What do you think about it? Do you think that maybe it's not that? Is it different enough that it's I don't know.
I think maybe it was until they couldn't get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, because that eliminates free will, which was kind of what his whole robot experience was about.
Yeah. I mean, free. I saw a Tumblr post that I'm totally not gonna remember who put it together, but the idea that Juno gave in Soul of the People, Juno gave his autonomy, which he to Rita, which he values more than his life.
Oh God. Oh wow. The level
Yeah,
of trust there is incredible.
yeah, yeah,
And she messed up. She really like not only putting oh god, she really messed up.
yeah, man. Rita fucked up.
Oh Rita, honey.
Peter also needs some yelling at for going along with this. Juno's dumb enough to go along with it. I get it. Like Rita's the person he goes along with, but I'm
Yeah.
yeah,
I wonder if
yeah,
he was deferring to Juno's judgment in that moment because I understand the appeal of, oh, there is no risk to this heist. Let's do the thing. And then, like, can I trust this device? Well, Juno, trust his secretary. But Yeah, I guess.
I hadn't thought about that.
But I don't know if they're there yet. I don't know if Peter can extend, like, use the daisy chain, like Juno said, of trust and extend that
I
to
love
other
that
people
daisy
yet.
chain.
Yeah. So
I love
I don't
that
know.
chain. Uh, yeah, okay. So I see it.
I don't know
Interesting.
though. I don't know. It might be kind of weird that he decided to do that because I know that he's kind of a secret dumbass, but also he's survived many, many years doing a lot of very complicated heists. So
That's true. I think Peter has the survival instinct of a cockroach.
yeah, yeah, he can get out of any tricky. Maybe that's the thing. Is he's fine getting into like really bad situations. His specialty is just getting out of them.
Yeah, I think he's shown that he's someone who doesn't care what he does to get out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
Like
Oof.
Juno is always trying to find the way through the bad situation. Peter is very like, all right, we have cut our losses. Goodbye.
I will be ducking out of the spotlight now.
I will be fucking off and repressing this. Thanks. And
God.
his literal and metaphorical ability to fuck off has really been taken.
Yeah,
Like,
he is stuck. He is trapped in a body that's not his own. Like,
mm,
God, Peter, this must have been such a wild time for him because first, he's really I headcanon that Peter has a rough time, like not only staying in the sense of like being constant with his personality and like but also just like the physical act of staying in one place for too long. So
oh
like
yeah,
with all
ADHD icon.
yeah, like he can't physically run away right now if he needed to, and he's stuck in a bed, like just not doing
Yeah,
anything. And so it's
where a
like,
robot knocked him out and took him.
yeah, God, maybe this is a little bit of his also needing to be useful showing up, if for very different reasons, perhaps. But like
Yeah.
he's agreeing to this thing, and he's like, oh great, I will be able to move and do things, and like, and then immediately he gets stuck in a body that's not his own, unable to run. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's having a rough time of it, but the fandom was convinced he was losing the leg, so it is what it is. Like he should be he's lucky. Like he's
Yeah.
getting off easy.
Oh my god, I can't imagine Peter losing a leg. Oh god.
Yeah, we all thought that was what was happening because he got stuffed into a bag and taken into the void of
Yeah.
space, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Like how was that done without maybe he broke a certain bone that somehow bending his leg into a fetal position in order for him to be stuffed into a bag. I don't know.
I don't know, dude. I'm not a I was no science for me.
No, same. I have never broken a bone. I have never broken a bone on a spaceship and been stuffed into a bag and like thrown over someone's shoulder and maybe kind of put through a teleporter before a ship crashed into the ocean. So I I can't
Wait,
tell you.
no, I think the teleporter is not there. I think since everyone was still on the ship, I think we can nix the teleporter.
Okay, so it was just this weird, maybe it was a hallucination, this weird red hole in the wall. Was it? Oh wait,
I
it was the hole that if the bot came in through the wall, like Rita said this episode, then maybe they had to cut a
Yeah,
hole. And so,
like
like,
a
they were just,
pod.
yeah, so they were just, like, they would get a new body, unconscious body, and just, like, put it in the sack, maybe walk back to the hole in the wall, and then put them there, and then continue.
Like I still want just more explanation from Shadows on the ship.
Yeah, it was
And,
very
yeah,
cloaked in shadow.
haha.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think we'll probably get it at least at some point.
Yeah.
Like,
If not now, then much later down the road, we'll be like, oh,
uh,
oh
my
God.
kitty came out to say hello.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've been meaning to meet you. Hello, Pearl.
Her name is Pearl. I adopted her a month ago. She's very shy, And also impossible to put in a carrier to take to the vet.
Oh no, baby.
She's
uh,
terrible, and I love her.
quick
Um,
question.
yeah.
How much does Rita know about Peter? Like, that's
Oh,
very interesting to
everything.
me.
Fucking everything. I will bet you money now she has traced him to Brahma and beyond. She knows his real parents' name. She knows his blood type. Like,
Oh my god. I agree. I think that is very likely. Oh, like he even said in what was it, the final resting place, or no, it was Angel of Brahma. He was like, "Your secretary is very skilled in that regard," or something like that, alluding to the fact that Juno
yeah.
could have looked him up, like not his alias, but his actual real name and history at any time. So,
Yeah. He just wasn't banking on Juno not being able to do computers.
whoops. Oh my
Also,
god.
Rita has totally like scraped Juno off the floor and he's been clutching the note that says Peter Nereyev. He has to have been prepared for that. Rita knows everything. Rita 100% knows everything. But Rita is a lady with a sense of decorum and would never say anything unless it was like the end of the world, and even then she'd be pissed about it.
Good for her. She just is gonna keep his secret. That's very sweet.
I think at some point she's going to be like, oh, like I'm Brahma. And
Oh
Peter's going to be like, huh?
my god!
What?
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Oh
Peter
Jesus.
and the mortifying ordeal of being known.
Oh god. Oh, well, that's kind of my notes for the episode. Other than I just like random note, I loved everything about this episode. It was like so funny, like the pyrotechnics, the posing.
I don't want to.
I know, but but my favorite bit was seriously the droning voice of that agent from. Yeah, you know, the
She's
overhead.
so done.
Oh my god, the thing about how they're gonna like they'll be given severance pay and be mailed a new identity in 3 to 5 business days. It's just oh,
Oh my
god.
god. Can we have
But
a quick Vespa sidebar?
please, what is your Vespa sidebar?
First of all, I love her so much. Second of all, if she threatens Rita again, we're gonna have problems.
Yeah, that's
You,
not a
you
good
can
family
threaten
dynamic.
Juno. You can threaten like whatever. Threaten Juno if you must. But Rita did nothing wrong.
Yeah, no. God, it's like kicking a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Jeez.
And it is really
Uh,
hard hearing that essentially Vespa's in the same place emotionally as she was at the start of Shadows on the Ship, which is
yeah.
it's so sad.
Well,
Like
I think
normally oh sorry, you can go.
oh, just I think that since Man in Glass and um Jet's episode, oh my god.
It's a rest.
Tools of Rust. Tools of Rust. Oh my god. My brain isn't working. Since they were both like stories of personal growth, I think we assumed that Shadows on the Ship would be, but I don't know that every story is going to have that giant overarching narrative of, trusting people
Yeah.
or or learning something about yourself.
And I mean, that would have been a whole lot to ask Vespa, like to decide to value herself more in the midst of all that. I think it is a huge step forward that she was even willing to trust Juno enough to know that he wouldn't go
Yeah.
dead. Yeah, that's a giant step for her, I think. I think she's. When do we know that she's trusted anyone in the past however many years besides Buddy? So that can, I guess, so really maybe she wasn't in the same emotional place. She hadn't changed her mind about this huge issue, but she solved another different, also big one a little bit, or started to be on the road to solve. Like she has a long way
Yeah.
yet, but
Yeah.
that's okay.
Well, I think Man in Glass and Tools of Rust were both vignettes almost. They were about the plot, but like the overarching plot, but they weren't directly. Like, I'm rewatching Avatar, and I'm like, those two were like Tales of Ba Sing Se
Yeah.
episodes. Everyone's rewatching Avatar, and if you haven't, it's on Netflix. Just do it, man.
Do it. Do
Just
it.
do it. It holds up so well. The anti-colonial themes,
Incredible.
it's great. It's amazing. It's just as good now as it was when I was 10.
Yeah.
Uh, so yes, do that. Yeah, so I think stories, like, yes, there was absolutely a like some, not even a resolution, but there was an acknowledgement of Juno being trustworthy that I think, like, felt like not it felt small because Jet and Peter both like redefined their worldviews.
Yeah.
Um, whereas Vespa like got through the situation.
Yeah.
And that there's
And
also like a power in that.
yeah, and she emerged from it with a new ally, and like that's really important. So maybe it's just the start for her, and that's fine. Yeah, again, it's a situation where my initial reaction is like, maybe is that okay, like narratively, and then it's like, it's because I had an expectation, and it didn't do what I expected, and that is
Yeah.
okay.
That's
There is a
so
theme.
that's so hard because like we've you and I have both been living in this kind of like penumbra world for so long.
Yeah.
And we think we know how the story works. We think we know like what choices these characters are going to make, but frankly, we've known Vespa for 4 episodes
Yeah.
or 4 stories. Like, we don't know what she does. Like, we don't know what Jet. Well, we know a little bit more about Jet, but like, buddy, we got nothing. Like, we don't know. However much fan fiction and speculation we put together, like, we can't have the ultimate grasp on these characters, and that's a little
No.
disappointing and a little freeing.
Yeah. Like it's the acceptance of like I have accepted a lot of fanon into my brain without even realizing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, which I will upload our last episode. That will already be up by the time you listen to this episode, listeners. But I mentioned in that last one that I have a version of Peter in my fan fictions because really, Peter, I don't think we've had 2 episodes inside his head, but I don't know how he'd react in a lot of different situations. So it's just kind of, I don't know, just guesswork in a lot of
Yeah.
cases. And yeah, so like I totally agree with you. I don't want to just repeat what you said. I just want to say that I 100% agree.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, we saw Peter in life and death situations and no other situations.
Yeah. And we saw him in a situation where he was feeling hurt and spiteful and kind of overwhelmed and maybe upset about his age. But we didn't see him in like a domestic situation or
Yeah. What does he do with
confronting,
boredom?
yeah,
Oh, he doodles.
or
We know
anything
that.
else. Oh, yeah, that's true.
And now we know he plays an instrument, sadly.
And he plays it. Well, see, we're collecting little pieces of the characters, so
Yeah.
that's really fun. Yeah.
And it's different. Like, we didn't really need to know anyone that well aside from Juno in the first 2 seasons. Because
Yeah.
we just know Juno so intensely. It's hard to have to piece together other characters.
Yeah. And like for me, it's especially weird because I make a nest in my like I will pick a show and I will I will make my house out of it for years at any given time. And so I want to hoard as much information as possible. So it's hard to acknowledge sometimes that I don't really I don't know what's going on. And that's fine.
But that's the beauty of it, that it's
Yeah,
unpredictable.
exactly.
That
Yeah.
this episode was 0% what I thought it would be, but it's still amazing. And also Rita's theme, I want to play in my brain at all times. Thank you.
Yes, please. Oh my god, I may
It's a
steal that
pop.
for a video. Yeah, it's great. Or I guess not. I wouldn't want to steal it for a video unless it was like copyrighted on YouTube so that I forget who makes the songs, but so that they would get the royalties.
Isn't it Kevin's brother,
I think so.
Ryan Vibert?
Yeah.
It's a whole. It's a
That's
Vibert
Ryan.
thing. Yeah,
You're so right. Thank you.
it's all good. Which is not the same Ryan that they all interact with on Twitter a lot. I don't think.
I don't even remember that Ryan. There are too many Ryans.
I know. I know. Pick some more names, people.
Podcast people.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't all have the same 4 names. How many Cecils are we at now? Too many. How many Johns? Too many. Fucking Michaels.
Peters.
No one else is allowed to be named Michael.
Forever. That's over.
Forever.
It's done.
We hit our quota.
I'm not even sorry. Oh, God. Well,
yeah.
You got any last notes here?
Any last notes? Dark Matter's consolidating power.
Ooh,
They're on the same journey as the Carte Blanche crew, the crime family, and they're finding things out at the same pace, and they're consolidating power around the Cure Mother Prime. They're after the same thing. I think we can feasibly say at this point.
Amen. And it's God. I wonder how. I get the sense they're trying to destroy the Cure Mother. So like, that's like, how are they justifying that to themselves, like in terms of the greater good? But I don't know that that's what they're after. I guess we'll find out as we go.
I don't know if they want to destroy it or not. We will have to see. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Maybe they're like, I don't know. They don't make a lot of sense, like ideologically, and I think that's on purpose. So I can't wait to see where that goes.
Gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? Or are we good?
I think we're good. I have exhausted all of my feelings.
Amazing.
That sounded sad in a good way.
Yes, we catharsis. We let them all out. The feelings are out in the ether, and go read everyone's Penumbra Bang Fix on AO3 because everyone put in a lot of hard work.
There are so many of them. There's so much food, you guys.
So many. Oh so many long fics. If you were like, oh, everything's one shots. Nope.
Not anymore, motherfucker.
Not anymore.
Sorry if young people are listening. Oh, God.
I am cursing. I'm not gonna stop cursing.
No, this is a cursing show.
If like iTunes would be pissed at us. We're on YouTube. Like, we can deal.
No one can stop us unless we say certain keywords that the YouTube algorithm will pick up and demonetize us.
Really?
Well, I don't know about the audio, but I put the word abuse in the title of my video, and it got partially demonetized. So.
Whoa. I have no idea how YouTube works. It's like, I don't know. On my side, I like say words and then they appear on the internet because Rab does things to them.
Oh no, I listen through, put maybe patches of static and then render them.
I don't know what rendering is. At this point, I'm too afraid to find out. All right, y'all. We will talk to you in 2 weeks with oh my god, I will never remember the name of this episode. With Juno Steel and the Mega-Ultrabots of Cyber Justice.
Mega, woo! All right, guys. Yeah. All right. Have any thoughts? Share us with them in the comments. Bye.
See ya.